Okay, guess where we are today? Yes, Live with Suzi is at the chiropractor office here in Century City, momentarily talking to Dr. Ben Shamoiel. He will tell us all about what you need to hear. Make sure you would like us, share us on all social medias, and don't forget the YouTube and podcast and Spotify. See you. Live with Suzi is proud to be sitting next to Dr. Ben at his office in Century City, LA Chiropractor, and I'm so thrilled and honored to be talking to you today. I know how busy you are. You look exhausted, and yet you look very fresh in front of the camera. Thanks for talking to us and the viewers, Dr. Ben.
Thank you. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for having me join you.
Totally. What a great office. What a beautiful view we have. And all you do for people who have pain all over. And tell our viewers, please, how did you become a chiropractor? What really inspired you? I know about it, but I want my viewers to know.
There was a couple of different inspirations. My main inspiration would be my mom. And in the stories, I always share that when I was younger, I would take her to the doctor. And you know, she had a lot of health issues, but it was really confusing for me as a teenager to see this whole model and see how unfortunately there was really no good answers. And living here in the country that's supposed to have the best science and technology, it really seemed to see how it failed us. And it wasn't me, it was with a lot of other people. And even though it's very helpful with certain infectious diseases, but true modern medicine really does not know how to restore health. And that was my mission. I just didn't want to treat somebody. I didn't want to go to medical school so I can pass out pills. I want to go to medical school. I want to go to find an art and a science and a philosophy that really was in alignment with how the body was designed and how the body heals and how you can actually get results.
Absolutely. Well, that's how Dr. Ben, sitting next to me, was inspired to study and becoming a doctor of chiropractor. Now, since then, which goes back to 25 years ago, you're too young for me to say you've had 25 years experience, but there we go. And then after that you studied that, and then you got married and you got a kid, something else happened. Bring us to that now. Fast forward
almost 20 years, and I have a beautiful son, Zohar, and when he was about 2 years old, he had a big fall. He hit his head, and just like most parents do, they take their kid, they make sure, they put in ice, they cry it out, they watch some TV, give them ice cream and all that stuff. And the crying stopped, and we usually forget about it. We continue to ice, we monitor it. But if the kid's okay, we call it a day.
All good.
We call it a day, and that's exactly what we did. My kids have been raised with chiropractic. They've been adjusted from a very young age because we believe it starts there. And I adjusted them. My friends took care of them. They have naturopath. They really have way better doctors than I've ever had. And so everybody gave us an okay. And then later on, we started noticing things, and we noticed balance problems, falls and slips. And this, in turn, I knew that this wasn't happening just in the spine.
Right.
And he didn't have any pain. He was having some neurological things. So I knew it was coming from the head. And I spent some time searching for somebody who was a chiropractor who specialized just in neurology brain concussions. I found him, we took him there, and 16 years into practice, I was still like, I'm blown away. My son was having teeth grinding. My son was having balance issues. He was having a cough that we knew was not coming from a virus or bacteria. And in a matter of just a few visits, it was mind-blowing to see from my point where I get to see a lot of miracles, to see a miracle. Yeah. And I was like, wow, this was mind-blowing. And so when I met with Dr. Wagner, I forced him. He's 72 years old. He doesn't want to, he didn't want to teach anybody anything anymore. He was a very busy practice, and I made him teach me and several other people.
Good
so
for you.
About 5 of us who have understood this technique that has to do with concussions.
I see.
And it's a basic game change in the ability of really getting people to heal.
So really, when we have a concussion, we shouldn't take it so lightly and think, oh, it's just a concussion, oh, it's okay, and no bleeding, no apparent, like sometimes even people are taken to the emergency room after a concussion, and then they take x-rays or MRI even, and they say, well, as long as he doesn't vomit and you watch 24 hours, good to go. So it's good to pay attention, guys, that if things go wrong and you're not really back to your original health, pay more attention. And that's when we come to experts like Dr. Ben, who's very well known and very well liked, I must add, here in Century City, and which is where I had the pleasure of meeting with him in different organizations that we are both member of, Chamber of Commerce here in Century City, Rotary, and really I learned a lot from Dr. Ben and how can people get treated with different issues. Do you want to just maybe mention a few?
Sure, a couple of things that we do here and some fun toys I'll show you guys in just a second.
Sure.
Well, we have the basic chiropractic, which everybody knows, of the sciatica, the migraines. I specialized in migraines and sciatica when I was really doing the chiropractic. So we have all the tools and technology from our cold laser here to spinal decompression that help rejuvenate these discs and really help get people out of pain. So we love that. I'll show you our little, this is our cold laser here where we use, and which is FDA approved for things like low back pain and chronic and acute pains and sciatica, and where it uses laser light. Now this is cold laser, so there's no burn to that. There are some lasers that are thermal.
Right,
they make
that is
heat.
Actually, yes.
This is not that. This is sending, you can see these signals, it's flickering. So it's sending different signals to different areas of certain cells to make them either more excited to repair or tone them down to reduce the inflammation report. So over the last few years, this laser has been doing miracles. We use it for everything from the joints to the muscles to the brain, and that comes for that next specialty of mine is just the concussion. So just like you said, when you have a concussion, the symptoms of a concussion can show up years later, decades later. So just like you see football players, boxers, they'll walk off fine, but when you see them later on, and the power of what we've really learned in the last few years is if the brain isn't working, you can't heal.
That's very true. That's very true. It's a very important organ sitting here. We got to really watch for it and take care of it, just like we take care of the rest of our body. But somehow, if we don't watch our brain, we're going to have problems, right?
You bet. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Okay, and Dr. Ben's office, when you come through, plays beautiful music. Do you love music? Like, he and I do, you enjoy it even more so. He loves to play music. He's a great DJ, by the way.
Thank you. Well, you gotta have
you
fun.
playing the music.
I know, you gotta have fun in your office. So I want to always have a fun view. I want to have a fun
certainly
music.
have it all.
And so we want to make it an enjoyable experience every time people come.
Thank you so much for whatever you do for our community, the LA Chiropractor guys. And you can visit their website and come here, and you're in great hands. Dr. Ben in Century City.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great interview.
Pleasure. Thank you.